Today, we're diving into psoriasis. For millions of people, it's a daily reality. And, we often think of it as just a skin condition, right? But what you see on the surface, well, that's only a tiny fraction of the whole story.
So what is the hidden part of that story? This question, it really gets right to the heart of it. What could possibly connect psoriasis with things like cancer, depression, and heart disease? I mean, it sounds like a stretch, but the answer completely changes how we look at what's going on inside the body.
And here it is. This is a pretty staggering quote from medical research. That phrase, functional disability, we're talking about the actual impact on a person's ability to live their daily life, is comparable and in some cases even greater than what we see in these other major diseases. This is our first huge clue that psoriasis is so much more than skin deep.
Okay, so what in the world is causing such a massive disruption? To figure that out, we have to look past the skin. We've got to go deeper, right down to the level of our own immune system. See, psoriasis is what's called an immune-mediated disease. And in the simplest terms, it means your body's own defense system gets its wires crossed. Instead of just fighting off invaders like germs and viruses, it mistakenly turns on itself, launching an attack against perfectly healthy skin cells. It's basically a case of friendly fire. So what happens when you have this constant friendly fire? You get chronic inflammation. Think of it like a fire alarm that's just stuck on, ringing 24/7 inside your body. That alarm sends your skin's production line into absolute overdrive. Normally, it takes about a month for new skin cells to grow and make it to the surface. With psoriasis, that whole process gets crammed into just a few days. The body just can't shed them fast enough, so they pile up, and that's what creates those thick, scaly patches we call plaques.
And check this out. This image from under a microscope shows us the actual battleground. You can literally see the invasion. All those little dark dots, those are the confused immune cells that have swarmed into the skin. They're the ones causing all the chaos and flipping that switch for out-of-control cell growth.
But that brings up the next big question, right? Why? Why does the immune system misfire like this in the first place? Well, it turns out it's a classic case of nature meets nurture, a combination of the genes you're born with and the world you live in.
On the nature side of things, genetics plays a really big part. This number, 30%, that's how many people with psoriasis have a close, first-degree relative who also has it. That's a pretty powerful sign that a tendency for the disease can be passed down.
But here's the crucial part. Just because you have the genes for it doesn't mean you're definitely going to get it. This is a great way to think about it. Your genetics might load the gun, but it's usually something in your environment that actually pulls the trigger and gets the whole process started.
So what are these environmental triggers? Well, it could be something like an infection. Strep throat is a really common one. It could even be a physical injury to the skin. For some people, a simple cut or even a bad sunburn can cause a new patch of psoriasis to pop up right in that spot. And yeah, certain medications or even stopping some powerful steroids can pull that trigger too.
Now, just like there are lots of different triggers, there isn't just one single type of psoriasis. It's really more of a spectrum of conditions, and honestly, they can look pretty different from each other.
This right here is the one most people are familiar with. It's called plaque psoriasis, and it's by far the most common, making up somewhere between 80 and 90% of all cases. It's defined by these classic, well-defined, red, raised patches of skin with that silvery white scale on top.
These plaques can show up just about anywhere, but some spots are more common than others. The scalp is a really frequent one, and you can just imagine how uncomfortable and incredibly itchy that can be for people dealing with it.
Then you have something like guttate psoriasis. Instead of those big plaques, this kind shows up as small, little teardrop-shaped red spots, usually scattered all over the body. And hey, remember those triggers we just talked about? This form is a textbook example. It's very often set off by an infection like strep throat, especially in kids and young adults.
And this might be the clearest example of how psoriasis isn't just a skin disease. That same internal inflammation we saw under the microscope, it doesn't always stay put in the skin. For up to 40% of patients, it can also start to attack the joints. This leads to something called psoriatic arthritis, a really painful condition that proves this battle is truly happening system-wide.
So, we have this complicated immune disease with genetic links and a whole bunch of environmental triggers. But here is the really good news. Understanding the why and the how behind all of this has completely revolutionized our ability to treat it. Instead of just treating the symptoms you see on the skin, modern medicine can now go after the root cause deep inside the body. By literally mapping out the specific communication signals these immune cells use to stir up all that inflammation, scientists have developed therapies that can intercept those messages with incredible precision. Okay, these names on the screen, TNF-alpha, interleukins, they might look a bit intimidating, but just think of them as the key culprits, the little protein messengers that are yelling the wrong instructions in your body, like attack the skin and make more inflammation. The new generation of drugs, called biologics, are designed like smart bombs to find and block these specific troublemakers, silencing their harmful messages right at the source.
And the result of all this? It's been absolutely transformative. For so many people with moderate to severe psoriasis, these targeted therapies have given them a level of relief and clear skin that was just unimaginable a couple of decades ago. It's fundamentally changed what it means to live with this disease.
And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating thought to end on. Psoriasis has kind of become a testing ground for these super specific immune therapies. So as we get better and better at basically rewriting the rules of our own immune response, it really makes you wonder, what's next? What other chronic diseases, from rheumatoid arthritis to Crohn's disease, might we be able to conquer with this exact same approach? Thanks for watching.